This would be the time that Google decides to ask me for my password before I can get into the staff docs.
Who's in the audience right now? People. Hello, people. We're just gonna wait for staff to come on. If hopefully there'll be a few more here. I know Eurovision is starting now, so I kind of expect some people not be here. Hi, Skelly.
Good afternoon.
Let's see, Vicky's coming on. I don't know. I see Foot online, but they're do not disturb. I don't know. They'll be able to pop in. Hey, Vicky.
Hi.
All done exams? Oh, your mic's on, but I can't hear you, Vicky. Not sure about anyone else. Hello?
No, nothing heard from Vicky now.
Yeah, no, I saw your. Briefly, I saw you say hi, and then nothing came out. But I saw your green. The green circle was. The circle was green. So I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, no, I briefly heard her, but then the rest of it.
Yeah, Yoshi, we heard Vicky say hi, but haven't been able to hear her since.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Hi. Hello.
A cord was pulled.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and like the light turned off on my mic, which is how I can tell. It's kind of a finicky mic. It's good, but finicky.
Okay, so there's 4 staff here at the meeting. I have 2 absentee ballots. Do you think that's enough to proceed here? I don't know. We never really agreed on a quorum per se.
I think it should be personally, I think it should be the same as all the other topics, so it should be more than 50%, which we do not currently have.
If the threshold is more than the 50%, then we would be very spotty on how many GSMs would be allowed to happen.
Yeah, I think
no, usually we have between people attending and absentee, we usually have more than half, particularly for conductor votes.
There's no minutes doc, I don't think.
Nope, there is a minutes doc. I made it yesterday.
I don't see it.
May 13th folder?
I've opened the wrong one. That's why.
Okay.
Did you open the June?
I opened the June one, yes.
Rather empty of topics, isn't it? Oh, this has been a nice quick one. Although to be fair, even the May one is pretty quiet.
Didn't we? Yeah, we've done meetings before that have had less people. Like,
I always think for conductor though, we've at least had quorum for those votes.
Yeah.
Let's give it a few minutes.
Has someone pinged staff? In case there's anyone that.
Well, the event pinged everyone, so they should be aware. Unless you want to ping staff again, we could.
But yeah, to go on what I was talking about, yeah, finals are done. A couple of grades have yet to come in, but I'm pretty sure I got an A in all my classes this semester, which is nice.
The only person who is showing online that isn't in here is well, I know AP isn't available. The only other person is Foot, but he is on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah. So, and I have a suspicion he's not here. Chief's on his phone, but I don't think he's.
I'm guessing Chief is one you've got a ballot from.
Nope. I got ballots from 70 and Dinty.
Well, with us four here, that makes 6. That is, I mean, it's not quite a majority, but it's pretty close.
Oh, a quorum is 7, and that's how we've done it on proposals. So I mean, I think it's worth waiting for one more, which might be Chief. Hello, hi Chief.
On my phone, but I'm here.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, that's 7
Are you
out
gonna
of
be available
13.
for-
So.
Oh, sorry. Are you going to be available for a while, Chief? Hello? Uh-oh.
You still there, Chief? We can't hear you.
I have a suspicion he's in a tunnel or something, or mobile went off.
If you can hear us, Chief, do you want to chat in meeting live? In the
Oh,
voice
yeah.
chat?
Nope, I'm
hi.
here. My phone is just being dumb of what audio it was using.
Oh, hello.
Okay, Chief, are you going to be able to stick around for at least the conductor vote, I guess?
Yeah, I can be here for, 20, 30 minutes at least.
Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, we have quorum, everyone. Yay. Jesus. Okay, welcome to the May 2023 GSM. We have one conductor vote to go through and then a couple topics. Let's go straight into the conductor candidate who is Ondist. I'm not prepared. I didn't do a randomization. So you know what? I'm just going to go alphabetical order here. All right. First up, 7D. He voted 4.
I'll get it.
Yep. And Chief.
Chief's a yes.
Okay. Dinty voted 4. I'll vote 4. And where is everyone? Simon?
I am going to vote neutral.
Okay. Skelly?
4 for now.
And V.
Neutral.
I'm happy to start. For me, it's not a reflection of him as a person. I just thought, compared with some of the other candidates, the activity wasn't that inspirational. So nothing to stop him, but just it wasn't before for me. It was solidly a neutral.
For me, it's simply a matter of, sorry, had a brain fart. And I'm also filling out. It's just a matter of, I haven't been on that much lately, and I think on this is fine, but I'm just not personally confident enough to vote for. But I was pretty close.
I'm actually on the. I was actually on the fence. Neutral for. Actually, can I change my vote to neutral just for now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
I believe he'll still pass with that.
I know.
Well, that would be 3-4-3 neutral. That. Wait, hang on.
It is still a majority. No, don't London. You got it wrong. It's 4-4-3 neutral. There you go.
I was going to say
4-4-3-3.
Yeah.
4 in favour, 3 on neutral.
So my concern is, I'm a little concerned about how ethereal on this, because he was only a moderator for a very, very, very short time. I understand that IRL stuff can come up, but he does have a tendency to leave the Discord and go away for a long time. So that gives me some pause on whether he'll stick around as conductor. I think he did address it in his writing, but
Let's look at that. Let's see. Anything else?
I was on the fence too, but my initial read looking at data is 4 because honestly, I think by the numbers on this activity would place him in the median, maybe in the second quartile of conductor activity. So not the greatest, but still better than some others that we still have on the conductor team.
yeah.
Yeah, second quartile is fine. But I mean, if we're making if the goal is to make conductor a revolving door sort of position, where it's people who are able and willing at the time participate, then I see that as being okay.
Yeah. His activity in the last 3 months is pretty okay. Yeah. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
it's okay. I voted neutral specifically neutral rather than against, because if everyone else is in favour, I'm very happy to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if revolving door is necessarily the phrase that I would use, but I think conductor is meant to be a position that it's a little bit easier to transition in and out of, and to be a little bit more reflective of as people have the time to be able to help out. I think in this case, Ondist, he's got again, the activity seems fine, and we are typically busier in the summer. So in terms of having him on during a higher traffic season, then I'm happy to promote him up.
And furthermore, going back to his inactivity history, he mentioned that a big part of the reason why he was inactive in the first place was due to academics. And I mean, people take classes in the summer and all, like I am, but like, it shouldn't be like as big of a deal. Like, it's less likely to get in the way, rather.
Yeah, that's my thinking.
okay. Any further comments? Any further vote changes, I should say, too, before we finalize this? The sound of silence. Okay. In that case, we're just going to go with promoting Ondist from a vote of 4 to 3. That's a mouthful. Congratulations on Ondist.
Congrats.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to the first community issue today. Wiki channel. Chimata, is Chimata here? I don't know if they. No,
Not in game.
Okay. So they did so this came from a Discord post in community issues. It's actually a bunch of suggestions from Chimata. Some of them included things like the main thing is the wiki channel on Discord, because just to summarize, for people wanting to coordinate projects on the wiki, like redoing a bunch of pages, or maybe it could be used for helping others do wiki things, like there's some like making info boxes and that sort of stuff. I could see a use for that there. So that's the main that's one topic, and then the rest of it was like increasing the file size, which is the file upload side, which I already did, and then the other one was, I think, some coordination of projects on there, but I don't know how much I can comment on that one. So let's tackle the wiki channel first. Any opinions? I think some people already expressed their opinions in there, but
no strong opinions, but I think there is a genuine ask there. So yeah, I've got no issue.
Yeah, I talked about this when this was like first brought up in the channel, but like my concern was like mainly if there was enough people who would actually actively participate in the channel to make it justified. But if people are like good on it, then I don't see a reason why not. I'm not strongly for by any means, but that's how I feel.
My thought along that, Vicky, is if we're worried about making it overwhelming, we do have the ability to do like the opt-in roles like we have for politics and the archive channels.
For me, it was like actually the opposite. Like if there was enough people to justify.
Oh, that wanted to even use it? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
There's also no. We only would put those roles if there's a sensitive content on there. There's nothing sensitive going on in the wiki channel.
Sure. Okay. So then, in that case, I mean, I guess then the question is it? I do understand the ask, and I think that it could be valuable if we wanted to have it on Discord. The other question is, would we want to do something like because on the wiki we have the Minecart Rapid Transit wiki namespace, and there's the like talk pages that get associated with everything. Would we want to coordinate stuff directly within the wiki, or is that something that we need to have in Discord?
I guess the question, I guess a related question to that is, are the talk pages even used that much?
Yeah,
Generally,
These
no, they're
days,
not.
not
yeah, that's
anymore.
the thing. It doesn't seem like they're not very visible to people.
Well, they're visible, but I think they're just not really used all that much because people like Discord is our main form of communication and coordination. So I guess, yeah, there's not really a whole lot of activity on there. I think just because there are alternative channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, weirdly, Shimano's the only one that well, there have been a few people voting in favor of that from according to the Discord post. Shimada.
I know Yoshi has been very active in trying to kind of manage various things on the wiki,
Yeah.
but I know that that's probably he's probably one of the most active kind of wiki maintainer type people.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was going for the third part of this topic. I was or the last part of it. I was going to mention something about that, but weirdly, Yoshi didn't comment on this topic. I was kind of expecting him to, because since he's so involved in the wiki. So we don't have an opinion from him. So I guess I don't know. We could try creating the channel. I'm just comparing it to the last channel we made, the programming channel, a little bit. Because there were some concerns that one wasn't going to be too active. Like, I thought the programming channel was going to be more like people helping, like showing off projects, which some people have done, but also like helping each other out with like programming stuff, like school assignments or something like that. That hasn't really turned out that way. It's instead turned into memes. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'd call
and screenshots of my Git commits for my very professional job, but have very funny Git commit messages.
It's certainly funny, but not what I was expecting. Like, it's sort of, I don't know if I'd call programming a resounding success. So comparing that to a channel like Wiki, like, I don't know, like.
I mean, we could. There is possibility of perhaps doing it on a sort of demo basis and watching it for a while. And I mean, we could do it like next month. Like, we need like some time for like the sort of novelty to wear off. But
yeah,
like just have it around for a little bit and see how many people use it.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months is probably a good time frame. Like, it'll be very much a situation of, if people don't use that channel, they need to use it, otherwise they'll lose it, basically.
Yeah, and I do think that just because wiki projects can take a while, they are more medium to long-term projects. That, yeah, we want to give it a little bit more of a time frame to sort itself out. But yeah, I don't think there's a huge harm. I'm also not betting a lot on it, honestly, because it's a very niche group who would want to use it.
What do the absentee ballots say?
Both 7D and Dinty have no real opinion. Dinty just expressed that he does have doubts of whether the wiki channel would be used. So pretty typical stuff.
I mean, I'm happy to. Are people generally happy to at least make it and give it a go?
It sounds like that's the direction we're going.
I suppose we can allow it. I was wondering if threads in the planning might take more of a better use, but I'm not sure.
I think I mentioned it in the community issues thread. I think planning threads makes sense if there's like specific wiki projects they want to work on, but at the same time, planning tends to be more like for in-game projects rather than wiki projects tend to be a whole different beast, right? I don't know if it fits best with planning.
Foot said something. Bring back wiki. Okay. But yeah, and plus I imagine people will make threads in the wiki, in the wiki channel. Sorry, I've had a mess of a sleep last night, so people will probably make threads for specific wiki projects. So that'll be for like specific projects, and then the general channel is mostly for like general things, help, etc.
Okay. Should we just try it then? Maybe at the end of the year we can review it. And
Yeah, let's give it a go.
okay. All right. Oh, I guess we should like, where do you want to put it in the list order? I guess that kind of matters.
List orders.
Under
nostalgia?
general chat. towards
General
the-
chat, probably like
Next
under
one, also
plan-
nostalgia.
yeah, I'd say under planning or under MRT nostalgia.
I think I like under nostalgia because it's like it starts with letter W. I don't know, like maybe. Yeah, I'll put it around there. I guess.
I'm content.
Okay, cool. Approved. Well, okay, that part's
Well, what
approved.
that first
That
part,
one
yeah.
is.
That part approved. The third part is, again, Chim and I didn't really go into too much detail about this, but I guess, do we want to like formalizing some sort of editorial stance on the MRT?
Sorry, what's the first bullet point about wiki projects?
Oh, sorry, that one. I missed that one.
I don't know what that actually is.
If it has something to do with Wikipedia, maybe they're talking about. It's this thing in Wikipedia where there's groups of users who get together to work on certain topics. So, for example, there's a wiki project roads that does roads. There's a wiki project hurricanes that does articles on hurricanes, such and such. So I guess Chimata wants to apply that to the MRT.
I don't
Yeah,
think we would have the user base to roll that out. Realistically, there's a couple of people that are active on.
I
It's
don't think
not
we
gonna
have enough people to make that work, to be entirely honest.
Also,
I would agree.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
think that's a little too complicated, and honestly, it works on Wikipedia because Wikipedia itself is the community. The with us, we like the wiki is an extension of what we do, kind of standard. So I don't think that it's something that we need to put a whole separate structure on. I think if there are things that someone wants to organize, then great.
Yeah, I'm feeling that for both this topic and the next one, which is about formalizing editorial standards. Wiki isn't a significant enough part of the server to be overly precious about the content. For me, I think it's fair that people can make their own pages. Sure, if someone wants to go through and refine it, then they are welcome to. But I don't think we should restrict content just because it is doesn't meet the proper editorial standards, because otherwise we'll get nothing.
I would agree. I don't want to be prescriptive. I think as long as people are writing the content that they think is important and it is in a readable format, then as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of the discussion. If people want to improve each other's articles, it's a wiki for a reason, so go ahead and do that. Basically, just as long as people are being nice about it, and if you have disagreements, talk it through. And then user pages are the only ones where they're kind of off limits because they're testing grounds. But in the main space, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm against this. This is a wiki for a video, like for like a group of people playing a video game. Like the reason why like Wikipedia has editorial standards is to try to like have like a consistent quality and like to try to counter misinformation. But that's really not the issue. That's not an issue with the MRT.
Well, and again, I think about, so Wikipedia is a reference by itself for general stuff. Bulbapedia uses the same software, but it's a reference for another video game. But the Bulbapedia community exists specifically to maintain Bulbapedia. For us, our community, the Minecraft server comes first. The wiki is very much an ancillary thing. So, yeah, Vicky, to your point, yes, absolutely. I think just clarifying that it's because of the wiki, how the wiki fits in with the rest of the community that we're good to downgrade it. So yeah, I agree. I'm against.
I'd like to make a point, but Skelly, would you like to? I saw you wanted to speak there.
Going back to some recent incidents, also, I don't really want to end up encouraging people to get overzealous in trying to enforce some kind of manual style, because something we do need to remember is that the MRT Wiki is really more like a free space for people to advertise their stuff and own stuff and write about it, rather than an encyclopedia about the world. So while improving readability is an admirable goal. People should be allowed to have at least some degree of autonomy over pages about their own stuff and their own projects.
So on going off on that, Skelly, I feel like we have to mention the recent warning that Salted Line got, because I think it pertains to this, because in the server rules we don't have anything explicit related to the wiki. It was up to the staff to make a judgment that what Salted Line did was rather disrespectful. And to be very specific, it's very targeted removal of content from the wiki pages, and also touching someone else's user page, or removing content from their user page without their permission. So I guess this brings up the question of, do we want to at least formalize some rules around that, like respecting other people's content on the wiki?
I think isn't there like just a general like respect rule on the MRT? So like we could probably just simply say that like MRT rules extend to the wiki in a sense.
I think we already do, or at least did.
The problem here though is when I talked to Salted, his quote unquote excuse was because there was no explicit rule about this, he didn't know that removing content like this would be against the rules. That aside, I would have expected him to have at least a bit more common sense in, not doing something like that.
I apologize. I got to drop.
Okay.
Let me know. Just ping me if there's anything that you need me to answer. Thanks, guys.
Okay, see you, Chief. But yeah, again, my point is, if we just say this happened because there was no explicit rule, so I'd ideally like to prevent it from happening again. So would it make sense to make an explicit rule so that it's very clear to others that this is not allowed?
We could have someone go look at the wiki rules page and try to reformat it to get it up to date to 2023.
I have never heard of the MRT Civic Service Complex. I'm assuming that's an old world thing.
Yeah, it's probably someplace in Spawn City.
I am personally of the opinion that I don't want additional wiki rules. I think, first of all, just generally avoiding rule bloat, but mainly for me, I just feel that I think it's too niche a problem that we can't just deal with it independently. I find it very hard to believe that Salted didn't realize that changing pretty much exclusively Lithium's pages, especially his user page, and removing content was not malicious. Yeah. I think it's overreacting at this stage when that's pretty much been the most egregious case I'm aware of, to put in a whole new set of rules which haven't been needed before.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And isn't this it correct me if I'm wrong, but is this like the first warning, at least in a very long time, that is pretty much just on the wiki?
I'm fairly certain there have been this is not the first wiki warning ever. There have been a couple warnings in the past, like maybe at least 4 or 5 years ago, where someone did something on the wiki which was not very respectful. But yeah, no, I think it's fair. Like this sort of thing doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, it's it's rare enough to where we could enforce just some sort of people being civil under most important rule number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of rewriting the wiki rules page, but not actually adding to the main server rules. Just rephrasing. Don't make any new policy though.
Okay. Going on the point on the editorial standard stuff, I did make a brief suggestion in the community issues thread that do we want to signify like wiki editor roles, or basically people who have been doing a lot of maintenance on the wiki, like Yoshi or Chimata, or maybe some
Hello.
others, and Yuhut, yes, hi. Like, do we want to give them a special role for? I don't know. I don't know if it'll give them any permissions, but at least signify that they are wiki editors, essentially.
We
I
can.
am hesitant to do that because I don't want to create an additional hierarchy. I think any disputes are minor enough to be resolved by the existing MRT staff who are voted in, nominated by the community, and picked by current staff. Introducing what I think. I don't think it will happen with a group of people players that do it, but I don't think it's a large enough group to justify it. And yeah, I want to avoid a future situation where people say, because I'm an editor, I can do anything on the wiki, and I say that the content you have added is not right. And actually, it's just people adding lore to their own page, something like that.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm worried about, Simon, because if I guess regardless of whether we give them a role or not, like they're going to have this wiki channel where they're going to discuss about wiki. They're going to do some wiki project of some sort, right? They're going to go through a bunch of pages, clean up stuff, that sort of thing. And I just worry that maybe they'll enforce the standards to the point where they might start causing conflicts. It's happened briefly in the past, hasn't happened recently, but I don't know. Like I'm asking who's setting the standards there, right?
Yeah, and like Kitty and Jasper have both raised kind of good points. It's like it's not really meant to be like a hierarchical system. It's meant to be more of a collaboration between players, and as like making a hierarchy just seems to get in the way of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Though even though as an example, Yoshi's pretty much as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, is the only one who's really doing the front page stuff, like the choosing the picture and choosing the that the list of facts and the featured article and stuff. Like, should that all be done by Yoshi, or should that be, should the work of that be spread around a bit? I don't know.
I mean, that's something we'd probably have to talk to Yoshi. I don't think Yoshi is here today.
I don't think it's a big enough deal for staff to have to mandate something. I think it's a nice feature that Yoshi does, and I don't really want to have to put any additional hurdles on it.
Actually, Skelly just said, technically I'm supposed to have been exercising oversight on
Or it is initially that I took over from him after he resigned, but then eventually we changed a couple of permissions around on the pages, and I let him start doing it again.
Okay, so it's just sort of, that's the way it felt, the way the pieces fell, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the status quo here is fine. There hasn't really been any problems with Yoshi's oversight of the main page and such, so I'm just fine with it being as it is.
Okay.
And to be clear, I think that we should still be welcoming people to edit other people's pages for the sake of correcting grammar, spelling mistakes, and adding facts and adding details if they wish. But yeah, they if they're happy to do that, they don't need a role to do that, because the wiki is a collaborative platform and you have edit rights over all pages by default.
Kitty, regarding your comment, could you be more specific of what the problem you've had recently with that? Like with non-staff people making decisions on other people's pages? Okay, is it just that they don't like it, or are they trying to enforce a standard of some sort? Like, is that their personal opinion, or is it like? like enforcing is, yeah, this is what I was worried about, because like having not, it's already kind of happening that non-staff are enforcing a standard on there.
But I
And,
think
yeah.
giving people an editor role is going to legitimize that further, whereas I don't
Yeah.
think that should be.
Ignore my that was just a suggestion that I made at the time. That's out the window. Like, I'm not pushing that at all at this point. But yeah, like
Kitty, hold on. Is this a hypothetical, or did
No,
this
that was
actually happen?
I'm aware of the details there. It was a hypothetical. It was a genuine situation. Kitty discussed it with the person who was responsible, and they agreed that it was Kitty's right to have it styled how he wished. So
Okay.
this situation resolved, but I think what Kitty's trying to say is giving people an editor role could legitimize that conversation, whereas actually style isn't something we want to enforce on the wiki.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't hear about this, so I just want to be sure.
I think it sounded like it didn't reach staff ears. Like, so it sounded like it got resolved, so which is fine.
Yeah, I would have brought it up if there was a concern, but they dealt with it, in my opinion, amicably, so I left it there.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So, I'm not sure if I should. One last thing I'm just going to bring up: if we're going to give people the wiki channel, and we're deciding not to enforce any standards or write down any standards for that, can we communicate this to the power wiki users, I guess you'd call them, and say, like, explicitly, like, have no standards? Does that make sense?
I mean, that's something that could be done like via like DMs. There's like a handful. How like is Hut still here?
I mean, to be fair, I have no. If someone wants to make a page more stylish, they want to add pictures to what is just a wall of text, I'm very happy for them to do that. But where I draw the line is changing a style away from an original owner style just to match other pages. That's where I don't think that should not be enforced. So, like, let's say I make a page for my town of Sunflower Plains, which is a fairly low-ranked town. If I don't put much detail in, someone wants to come through, put a few photos on, change the format so it looks nice, I'm very happy for them to go right ahead. But if I have made a page in my vision with my style, it's the changing of my style, which is what I would disagree with.
I'm not exactly what I'm asking, Simon. I'm basically asking, can we make a decision to explicitly say there won't be any standards on the wiki? Like, basically.
Sorry, the way I heard you, I thought you were saying you don't want them changing any styles whatsoever.
Basically, what I'm saying is, I'm saying basically the opposite direction of what Chimetas was sort of suggesting here. Like, Chimetas should we formalize? Should we make some standards? And I'm saying, can we make an explicit decision to say there will be no standards?
Yep, I'm happy with that.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everyone else? Right.
Yeah, just there is explicitly no standards, and we will tell these people that there are no standards.
Yeah, ultimately 99% of edits will be a positive edit to improve the factuality or improve the layout of a page, and I don't want to cause hamper to those, the majority of legitimate edits, I think that's a fair comment. To not make standards.
Okay. All right. Who will communicate this to them? I guess. Well, who are the power users of Hut? Hut, would you actually, since you are a power user, would you mind? I don't know if you wanna, but just tell the others.
Sounds like a good thing for the wiki channel.
Is Shimada really collaborating with Yoshi and HVT? Because the way you're saying power users makes it seem like there's some sort of cabal that's organized.
I don't know the relationship between the three of them, but I mean,
they're just the most active people.
They're the ones who've done just a whole lot on there. So, yeah. Did
Well,
you?
considering
Yep.
that Chimata like raised this topic in the first place, I'm sure Chimata will know. As will probably Yoshi. Yoshi will probably end up finding out one way or the other.
Okay, either way, and I think I saw a suggestion. We can just say it in the wiki channel, and maybe even we could make a pin post or something. I don't know. Depending on
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I'll put it in the staff or the GSM results anyway. So that's also another way.
Yeah. So, are we about done with this topic with 5A? Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
So here's what I got on the minutes. We will first we will add the wiki channel and Discord on a trial basis. Staff will watch the channel and see if there's a sufficient amount of activity. Then we will review the channel near the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second section is we will not be adding any formal wiki projects or editorial standards, nor will we be adding any additional hierarchy or roles users that use the wiki most frequently. We will ensure that the most active wiki users know about the lack of standards.
Sounds good. Okay.
Well, is it lack of standards or is it non-enforcement of standards?
The lack of formal standards.
That's fair.
Sure. Okay. And let's go on to 5B. AP's watching Eurovision. Vicky, I don't know how informed you are of all these decisions here. So
I've been keeping up, but the thing is once again, I've been busy lately, and especially some of the more long and divisive topics, I just kind of run out of energy.
I am going to drop out here, I'm afraid. I've got a couple of bits to do, and I am not at all informed or interested in roads. So, bye, guys.
Bye, Simon.
see Simon. Do we want to? So it's mostly basically AP. You're saying AP did most of these, right?
A lot of these sections. Hold on. This section, like a lot of the roads that were like debated, were roads that AP reviewed.
I see. Okay. Then in that
Not all.
In that case, unless there's any comments right now here, I think I'd move to defer this until a meeting where AP is available, to be honest.
Yeah. Once again, it's just like the thing for me is that I've had little energy, like between like just mostly just finishing out the semester, making sure I have good grades. I've been just like the road redux has been sorry, I just lost my train of thought again. But there hasn't been a lot of energy for the road redux in my head.
Okay. Skelly did mention, I'm aware of this road. There is one road at the very end, the ATC at 101, where I think there were several options of that were being considered. So I'm just reading through these right now. Yeah, so the first option would be to take no action, the road remains private, and the A3 terminates at ATC Airport. So they would remain A3 and ATC 101 would remain separate roads.
Status quo, basically.
Status quo. Yeah. The second option is nationalize the ATC 1, turn it into the A3, and that, yeah, basically that. And then the third option is it remains a private road, but A3 designation is overlaid onto it. I objected to this one particularly because there was a previous decision a long time ago that staff made where all A and B roads, or at least A roads, had to be publicly owned. So this would be in violation of that.
Yeah, that's like the difficult part because it's like the corridor itself, like the ATC 101 corridor itself, is just like it is a major hole in the A road network, and there's really no possibility of an alternative. That's the thing that like makes it divisive, and it's long and generally a sort of continuation of the A3 corridor.
Tom is in game also. I don't know if he's listening to the meeting. Oh, he is. Okay. Tom, I know you mentioned that you were in favor of the third option, but I've explained why it's not going to work. So, has your opinion changed on any of this? Like, out of these three options, what would you prefer? Yeah, I understand that, Tom, but as I said, we made a decision a long time ago saying that all A roads had to be public. If I were to allow this, that would be an exception for you, and that sets a precedent which don't think could be good for the server here. Like, if I allow this, then that also would allow other people to make private A roads, and that I think we want to avoid that. Okay. Oh, sorry, Tom. I didn't realize you actually made the suggestion for the third option. I missed that in discussion.
Yeah. I know Yoshi owns Los Angeles. Who owns Covina? Is it Yoshi?
Probably Yoshi.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Thanks. I know Yoshi has been kind of against extending the A3, just based off of what I've seen, if I recall correctly. So this kind of is a little bit dead in the water, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's just kind of because we basically have to force Yoshi to do basically a road that goes entirely within towns he owns. A little bit of AT, but mostly through Yoshi's towns.
Okay. Sorry, Skelly, could you reiterate your opinion on the second option? Were you in favor or against it?
I'm against. I don't think if a road was previously completely privately owned and there wasn't any staff ownership previously, I don't think it should be forcibly transitioned to staff ownership unless there's a very, very good reason to do it and there's no other viable alternative available.
Okay. As a counterpoint, though, if I recall correctly, that I'm trying to dig into my memory banks a little bit here, when we made that decision a long time ago to nationalize, nationalize all the A roads, turn them into public owned, the situation then was most A roads were public, but there were a couple based on the agreement that was made a long time ago with the builder to allow them to be private. We quickly realized as staff that was a mistake, probably, because it sort of tied our hands on what we could do with those roads. So we made a decision to just basically state all A roads are publicly owned. I'm trying to remember the number of it. I think there was a road made by, it might have been Mindman Embody around Elecna Bay, I believe, that was privately owned. But yeah, A50. Thanks, Kitty. The A50 was privately owned, and then it became publicly owned there. So there is an example in the past where we have done this before.
I do see why the third option is not viable, and I agree that it would only cause confusion. So I would be in favor of just not adding an A road designation at all, unless it is completely unavoidable that A3 gets routed down that road.
Yeah, it's like if we ever wanted to make an extension of the A3, there's literally no alternative. Like, unless if like Tom was like fine with like a road going through like the center of like AT, just kind of paralleling the ATC 101, but like, no. Either that or the A3 would be in like 2 sections.
Okay. We are also just talking about numbering here, so it's not like the road's gonna disappear or anything, right? Or
Oh, absolutely. Like nobody's really proposing any actual changes to the road besides like maybe signage, but it appears quite just unpopular. And it's just like that seems like opening a can of worms that I don't think a lot of people really feel like fighting, you know?
Okay. So I guess we're leaning toward option 1 then.
I will say the nationalizing ATC 101 was also AP's idea.
Okay, so I was just about to ask like what AP's opinion was, and
Yeah, this was AP's idea.
I see.
Just for the record. Like when we talked on Discord about it, when we were like starting to wrap up, if I could open it, just to remember, since it's been a bit. Yeah, AP like put it in the suggestion.
Okay. So I guess I'll put this. Do we want to go with? I guess it sounds like option 1, or do we want to? Should we defer this until AP can comment more on it? Because we need to do it anyway for the rest of these. So I'm wondering if we just defer the whole thing, perhaps.
That's your call. I'm neutral either way.
Yeah, I'm not. Protocol, you might be enjoying this public-private road topic. I'm not, because it's a mess, to be honest. It's one of those situations where no one will be happy. One side will have to, like, if we go for option 1, A3 doesn't get a connection. Essentially, it doesn't affect the road, but just in naming purposes.
So of course it's like one thing. It's like the interchange between ATC 101 and the A30 needs to be finished.
Let's defer the whole thing. I think that's just to be fair to AP in case he again I don't know how strongly he feels about the nationalization. So if based on that, if I don't know, then I think we should just wait until he gives comment on that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, we're deferring 5B to. I mean, we discussed a lot about it, but the last part. But yeah, we'll defer to next meeting, and then at least Vicky, you'll be able to catch up and see what the heck AP did.
Yeah, once again for me, it's just like I've been busy, and I need some time to just kind of rest and recuperate.
Okay. Tom, are you saying a brand new highway?
I mean, if you want to like go Robert Moses on AT, that's your own call.
I mean, if it helps also to solve this issue of having an A road through there, cool. I don't want to impose that on your town though, or your city, because
if you want to do it on your own accord, don't do it because
we know how damaging, well, at least in IRL highways are. In Minecraft, it probably doesn't matter, but I mean, you'll have to blow up a whole bunch of stuff to
once again, if you want to go all Robert Moses on AT, that is your call.
Okay. All right, cool. Any further well, I guess we're deferring, so it doesn't matter at this point, but I don't know. Any further comments about this topic or anything else that people want to bring up for the GSM? We're in the questions only part now, I guess. Okay, well, London has something.
I mean, it's still continuing. Everyone's been busy. AP isn't here.
Just to be clear, are there roads left to be reviewed?
I mean, we reviewed them all, like in the original wave. It's just that I believe it was last GSM, we said that that like we were like approving the changes bit by bit over time, and this is what's being deferred.
Okay, so instead of the 1 month, it'll be 2 months. I guess we'd be keeping the road updates channel up for now.
And I don't see any point in not. I don't really see that much happening, but like a lot of people probably like maybe somebody will like bring up a road.
Sure.
But like I mean we did like a whole batch of roads, like the whole batch in the like initial like review. But like we just need to get them approved.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so the road review will still be continuing, quote unquote. So if you have any further comments, folks, you can make a topic there or do one of the existing topics. But we're deferring this until next GSM, until AP can actually go through these roads and finalize it.
And preferably we would both be there for the meeting.
Yes. All right. Any other further comments, questions? I want to try to get this meeting done within 1 hour. That'd be great, and people can go watch Eurovision or whatever the fuck they want to do. So.
Honestly, I was signing up for fall classes before this, so I don't know. I need to go to the grocery store for like 2 days. For 2 days of food, rather.
Jasper asks something completely unrelated to approve this approval, but if there's consensus on change, are we allowed to rebuild edit roads even if we have no connection with the road? What is it? Vicky, do you know what Jasper's talking about here?
Can you like rephrase it? Like, are you suggesting like if people are like fine with like if there's like no debate on a road, then people could change it if there's no formal approval? Is that what you're saying? As long as like nobody's like
he might be, if I'm guessing, you might be asking, can you rebuild roads that are not related to you or have no connection to? Oh, he wants to help out. It sounds like. Yeah, I'd say I guess talk to Vicky or AP about that, because I think it was mainly going to be a staff thing, right?
I mean, if you want to like rebuild roads, like if you like, I think that's been talked about in the past. Like there was like the A0 rebuild, like stuff like that. Then I mean, you certainly can, but of course that would be at a staff meeting, at least for A roads.
Wait, so would Jasper have to repropose something, like how are we going to rebuild it or something?
Like if you like, I mean, if it's like an A road, then if he like wants to rebuild it, then that would be a GSM topic, like it has in the past, if I recall.
Yeah, it can be a proposals thing, I guess.
Like I think it was Time who redid the A0. I think, if I recall. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't recall. Sorry.
I remember, or like a signage redo of the A0 at least. That was a GSM topic. I'm not sure if you want to do like a B road or something, how that would work, but probably just let us talk to staff.
Yeah, but yeah, there's nothing, Jasper. Just I guess treat it also. Yeah, talk to staff, but treat it also like anyone can make a road proposal. If there's things we don't like about it, we'll just give it the big X. But
I mean, maybe a proposals, but running it by staff before going through with it, probably.
Yeah. If it's a good idea or not, because
yeah. And you should, of course, still try to get permissions and all of that. That wouldn't be waived.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I am getting done of sitting down, and I need to get ready and buy food so I don't starve to death. So.
Okay, let's end the meeting before the hour ends. All right, thanks everyone for coming. Next meeting is in June. I don't know what the date is, but bye bye now. Go away.
you.